Well, hello, this is Matthew Coury, movie producer and director, former Irish mobster and gangster of the Irish mob, and now a big Christian evangelist as well. So, anyways, I wanted to tell you all a little story real quick about Steven Spielberg and me. So, when I was a kid, when I was about 12, Steven Spielberg became my hero. I wanted to be just like him. I wanted to be a movie director just like him. And he was my icon, man. He was my hero. And, as I got older, I started changing what I wanted to do a little bit. And, I wanted to be one of the Backstreet Boys at one point. And things kind of changed a little bit. But, I always had that desire to be a filmmaker deep down in me, to make movies. And so when I was 18, my dad told me he was going to take me on a trip to Hollywood. And so we went to Hollywood. We went to Universal Studios, and we were driving around in the little tram or whatever you call it. And guess who went driving by in a golf cart? Steven Spielberg. I got to see my childhood hero in person at Universal Studios. So, it's just crazy, man. God does crazy stuff. And I believe that was honestly God who did that, And, it's funny. What's really ironic now is I've got a friend of mine. He's a movie producer, and he does movies for Universal Studios. And for those of you who know what VeggieTales is, he actually does VeggieTales for Universal Studios as well, and is working on the next VeggieTales movie that's going to go in the theaters. And what I'm hoping is that we can do a joint distribution deal between his studios and Universal Studios to get Spacebugs in the theaters worldwide. So you can be praying for that for me, that'll happen, because that's really what I'm hoping for and praying for. And the whole thing is, God's in charge of all of this, because, this movie glorifies him. It is a Christian movie. It's a movie for everybody. I mean, it appeals to everybody, but it's also a Christian movie. And, it glorifies God. And, so God set up all these connections. It's not just a matter of chance that I knew I knew the fellow who does VeggieTales and for Universal Studios, and that, he just so happens to do movies for Universal Studios. I mean, that's not, God set that connection up. And when I got started out in the movie business years ago, that was when I made the connection with my friend who does the movies for Universal and does VeggieTales. And, it's ironic too, that Steven Spielberg, almost all his movies are done by Universal. And, it's just crazy. God just does amazing things, guys. That's all I can say. So that was my story, and that's just what I wanted to tell you. But you guys have an awesome day, and I will see you next time for another video. Bye for now.